heard man when I chat and chit. I come through like what's good, these wigs getting split. Man better breeze than sprint, it's long if I choose to bite down on these pricks. X is a lyrical 4-4 and this, so make sure it's X that you wanna rally with.
Alright, you see this? What's happening right now, dude? This is the problem with having a giant head. Holy hell. Before we start the video, I'm gonna show you really quickly the outline and the structure that I use whenever I do a regular haircut, and just to maintain as much bulk in the calic and then in the front of the hair as much as possible. Okay, so going over the canvas, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what we're doing here, exactly what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to avoid. If you notice this dark section here, it's where we're going to start the fading process. Here is gonna be with the 2, then right below that, it's gonna be 1.5, and then everything else below this section will be a 1. As we get closer to the bottom, we can use a little bit of a half guard just to clean it up a little bit. So this entire section here is what we want to avoid. This is going to be the ridge, and then this calic area, this is the calic that we want to pay attention to. So the whole crown area here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. If we divide that into sections, that's the exact section we don't want to touch. But before that, we have to make sure that we wet our canvas. We want to make sure that you get a good amount of water on them. Make sure not to overdo it though, but you definitely want to make sure that it's going to be able to be easier for you to maneuver the hair wherever you want it. For this classic haircut, he's getting a comb over to the right, so I want to make sure I get a good amount of separation from where the calic and ridge is going to be, along with the comb over. I want to make sure I push it to where it's going to be styled. With our 2 guard, we want to make sure that it stays open. We want to flick out as much as possible for when we get to the ridge. As you can see here, I want to flick out and make sure that there's not going to be a hard line, because we want to make sure that the clipper is going to be, because that way it's going to be easier for us to get to do clipper over comb.
We waited for everything you want is right here. We gonna give them what they came for. We gonna take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, no.
What I like to do is use the taper comb to guide my hand whenever I'm flicking out, so that way I know exactly where the section is going to cut off at.
Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Yeah.
Following up that number 2, we're going to go in with our 1.5 open. We can keep it open. We don't have to go open and close, because we want to make sure our line isn't indented in his head. Make sure to really flick out also, because we want to make sure that's not going to create a new line where our 2 closed would be if we were using a 2 closed. Also, don't forget to pull down on the ear. I see a lot of barbers continuing to just cut the hair and not care about the client, and next thing you know, their ear is marked red. Make sure you pull the ear down whenever you're doing it, so that way you can reach around behind it. That's what she said. For the occipital bone, we can go with our closed because it's darker than any of the rest of the head. So don't mind going in with the closed just to get rid of those dark spots.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Yeah.
For the 1, you want to go again. Surprise, surprise. You just want to go back in. Holy hell, that was corny. You want to go in with a open, pull the ear down, make sure that you're just going underneath the 1.5. Holy hell, I can't get over it. It says surprise, surprise. Holy shit. You want to make sure that you go around his ear. You're just going to clear up the dark spots. Make sure to clear up the dark spots, because we're going to come back to it if we need to go in with our half guard. It's all going to depend. It's not going to be like a 3-2-1 easy guide. Sometimes you need to go in and clear the dark spots with a lower guard. You might even have to close the 1. So pay attention to that, especially when we come to the back of the head. So as you can see here, I'm just getting rid of those dark spots. It's going to blend in nice and evenly. And then once we're done that, we're just going to go in with our half guard right underneath at the bottom before we create our outline for the back of the neck. Holy hell, I can't believe I said surprise, surprise. What the shit? All right, so for this section, what I want to pay attention to is the outlining of the haircut. So we want to basically get a nice outline on his corners, a nice outline around his ears. We want to make sure we don't white wall him, but if the hair is going to be a pain in the ass where it's so dark, you can raise it up a little bit, but just try to avoid and not get above here. And then also we want to make sure that for his back lineup here, that stays somewhat natural to the shape that his head already has. You never want to go too far in because then it's just going to look awkward to the head shape of his neck. And then you also don't want to go too far out because again, it's going to look awkward to the head shape of his neck. And then it's also going to give you more of a rounded look, especially when it comes to his neckline. All right, so we're getting close to finishing up this haircut. You want to make sure that you use your corner edge of the blade to get the rounded C point along with the back of the ear. You want to make sure to use just the corners. What I like to do is go the right corner, pull the ear down halfway, then left corner for the opposite side, and then we're just going to do some clip over comb. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the bottom of the comb is touching his head, and you just want to arch out. And what I did there was I stuck my head out in the front just so I could see, making sure that it was going to be straight across. Again, you want to make sure to use the back of the comb to get on his head and then just flare that comb out so that way you can clip over comb all the excess. For the back here, I like to keep it after we put our angles in. I like to keep it nice and straight, just like that. What I like to do is I like to start in the middle and then work either left or right here. So you just choose a side, put the line in the middle and then go left, and then go back to the middle and then go right. And then if I wanted to, I could round these edges by just rounding this corner point and this corner point. And then if you wanted to do a taper, I remember I would just do a low taper. So say this was the line that you put in, I would just go in with the open no guard at the very top, then the half right there, and then your one right above that. So this would be open here, open, then it would be half, and then it would be one guard. So whenever you're doing it, these are going to be your guards. Open, no guard here. And that would create a nice little taper to rock with the classic men's haircut. All right, cool. So you listen to my steps. So we started at the middle, then I went right. We started again back in the middle. After I started and went to the right, we're going to go start in the middle and then go to the left, and then we're going to go to the shears. Yeah, for the top of the head, I don't really have like that much of an idea to give you guys. Honestly, the way I do it is I start from left to right if it's a comb over to the right, and if it's a comb over to the left, I start from right to left. Did that make sense? Basically opposite side. You want to go from the longest side to the shorter side and then cut it at an angle so that way it's going to match the slope of his head. Then we're going to use some of my pomade. It's the best pomade because I made it. That's why I think it's the best, because I made it. Look at that wiggle. Then we're going to just comb it over, make sure that it looks nice and neat to give us that gentleman's haircut. Sorry, I just got done a huge amount of coffee. That's why I have the energy. Fucking fabulous Tom Ford. Spray it on your client because he's amazing. I love my client. He's so sexy. Look at him. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See ya. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. All right, bye guys.